Good afternoon. My name is valkyrierunes Tarot. We are going to be doing the water signs, what do you need to know message, or what do you need to hear message for this week. Thank you for tuning in. If you resonate with Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio for your big three, this message could be for you. If you don't resonate with this message, I will be uploading the fire, air, and earth messages as well, but this is going to be our water signs message, so you must resonate with water signs to receive this message. I will be reading this as both a general message and a love message, but take what resonates, leave the rest. Do not force it to fit, do not force it to resonate. As long as you resonate with water signs messages, this could be for you. So I'm going to be asking the question I always ask: what do the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio need to hear right now to live more efficiently, to honor their lives in the most efficient way? If you are watching this video, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe, to comment, to like, interact in any way you feel comfortable. If you do not consent to this message, feel free to click away. Do not have to accept this message if you don't want to. I will go ahead and get started. What do the water signs need to hear right now? Let me shuffle this one more time before I ask again. What do the water signs need to hear right now? Okay. First card is the High Priestess. Interesting. It's Cancer energy. Overall water sign energy. We're starting off pretty good. I don't know if you saw that, but it just flew away. Okay. We have the Sun card that came out, but the card out before that, Eight of Swords. Interesting. So far we have upright cards. Let's see. What else? Okay. The Knight of Pentacles came out in reverse from my perspective, so I'm going to put it in reverse in yours. Okay. So, I'm being called to read these as well, but we're just going to put them down, and we're going to go back, and we're going to start interpreting this spread before I finish it. So, we started with the High Priestess, followed by the Eight of Swords. Let's talk about that, because that's really interesting. Water signs, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, I feel like this is because of a turn of events. The High Priestess is highly spiritual. She's a person who, or maybe even a spiritual guide of yours, who knows everything. She could even be you. She knows everything. She sees everything. She interprets everything. But what I find the funniest about this is that it was followed by the Eight of Swords. So I think what this is implying, and I think what you need to hear right now, is that you don't know everything. What you know versus what you are accepting around you because of what you know are two different things. It's almost like I know it, but I pretend I do not see it. Or I know it, but I'm pretending that it's not useful to me right now. So what I kind of feel like is happening is what you know is directly affecting what's happening to you, and you're allowing it to. You're allowing what you know to trap you into your experiences. It's almost as though you're not really questioning what you know as being valid for your experiences. So you do know what you know, and you are quite intuitive. What you know has led you this far, and it has earned you the right to be where you're at. But I think that sometimes we forget that what we know isn't always valid to our experiences, or isn't always valid for the next step in our journey. And I think that's why it can be so hard to shake certain habits, because what we know and what's been working for so long, what we view as tradition because we've been doing it for so long, isn't necessarily the healthiest for us. And I think what's more interesting is this Sun card that follows it, because it's speaking of joy. It's speaking of experiences that bring joy, and it's speaking of acknowledgement and recognition. It's speaking of literally light illuminating the dark, shadowy places. So I feel like your guides have been warning you about something, or trying to get a hold of you about your car's extended warranty in regards to a certain situation. Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, you guys are dealing with this thought process that you know is unhealthy and that you know you need to shake, and your guides have been telling you, like, you gotta get up and do something. Like, this has been a long time coming. It feels as though you've always known this was the case, but it's been really hard to let go of. It's easier to stay trapped in whatever mentality or whatever situation or habit that you think you should stay in, and you've just been allowing that to kind of lead your life, and you know it's not the right way. You have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So the Knight of Pentacles is a slow moving card, but I feel like you're not even making the effort here. You're saying that life is going too slow around you, but you're not even making the pressure to go forward. And so your guides are really like, what's going on here? So let's talk about those two cards that I felt called to read. So they're both in reverse when they came out, the Seven of Cups and the Four of Cups. I think that there's a very nasty energy to this. Maybe you were dealing with someone, romantically or otherwise, who was just not meant for you. The energy was just not right. The vibe was not good. And I think you knew that. And I think you still know that. And I think that you're kind of like, you're shedding a lot of layers here in regards to what's aligned for you and what's meant for you and what you should be dealing with. And I think that your guides are kind of like, you can't expect us to clear the path every time. You have to know when to say no to certain things. You might have been dealing with a Cancer or Leo. You might have those placements yourself. Whatever the case, there is air and earth energy here overall as well. So whoever you're dealing with, I have the Seven of Pentacles on the bottom, so you can see that. You are having to rebuild from a lesson, and you're having to let go of something in order to learn a lesson. I feel like it's been hard for you because, maybe you feel like you've been stripped away of your opportunities. Maybe you feel like you don't have the opportunities that you want to have. And that's fair. That's a valid feeling to have, but you can't sit and wallow in it. You can't fight back for things that are no longer in your life just because you're not getting anything new, is what your guides are kind of trying to imply here. So that's what I'm seeing here with this. I'm so sorry you had it the opposite way. Here we go. Let's see what other two cards we can get. What else do water signs need to know right now? Let's shuffle it over here. Do it one more time. Honestly, I'm feeling like your guys aren't trying to be mean to you right now, water signs. I feel like there is just underachievement. You have the Three of Cups. So I don't think this is romantic. I don't think this is related to something romantic, but I do feel like this could have to do with a person that you've been close to, and you've been allowing the joy of the connection to overlap how you actually feel about it. And so I feel like your guys don't want you to have any attachment with this person or this situation. What else do... Oh, alright. And we have the King of Swords in reverse. So what I'm kind of feeling like is happening here, we have the Four of Wands on the bottom. And just for fun, we're going to look at the top card, the Wheel of Fortune. So I think that what your guides really need you to hear, they need you to know, is that your joy is being trampled by the way that you're perceiving connections. I wouldn't say that it's entirely that you're giving too much to the person directly, but you're giving too much thought and energy to the connection itself, and that you're needing to know that your guides have been warning you about doing this. Again, you're not giving too much to the person directly, you're giving too much to the connection. It's not enough to detach from the person. You have to detach from what the connection itself means to you. I don't think this is romantic, but if you are interpreting it as romantic, I'm not saying that if you're with someone, you automatically have to end the relationship. If you're happy, you're happy. But you have to understand where that happiness is coming from. You have to understand, is that happiness serving you properly, or is it just something that's serving you temporarily? Is it something that you temporarily are enjoying and that you will enjoy for the rest of your life? There's a lot of questions here you need to ask yourself about where that happiness is coming from. I think that with this High Priestess card in the beginning, I think that for water signs, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, you guys are needing to ask yourself tough questions. Things that you've been wondering about for a really long time. Things you've been questioning for a really long time. And maybe you've just kind of shirked them aside once you dated this person or met this person. You know that this person isn't really your cup of tea, and yet you still drank the cup of tea. Like, you still accepted, acknowledge this. Now, of course, you can always give people chances. You can always give people second chances, but I feel like maybe you've overlooked something, or maybe you're not seeing things as clearly as you need to, or maybe you're seeing it clearly. You see it very obviously. You're just not doing anything about it. And this person, I feel like they kind of know that they're not great either, but it's no offense to them. They know they're not really meant for you either, but you're not saying anything, so why should they? I feel like with this King of Swords in reverse, I want to talk about this for a second. I feel like this person, the King of Swords in reverse can sometimes mean a manipulator, so I don't want to say that's who you're dealing with, but I feel like this person, whenever you bring up a problem to them, they always have a solution. They always know just what to say to get you back on their good side. And so I feel like when you're alone, you're in the Seven of Cups and Four of Cups reversed energy where you're just kind of like, I'm not sure I want to be near you, but I'm also sure I don't want to be away from you. Like, mixed feelings, like that vague, that ambiguous mixed feeling energy that I'm getting from these two cards comes through back to this Three of Cups. But like, but I have such a good time with this person. It's kind of giving like you don't really realize what you have until you're away with it, or away from it, I should say. So it's kind of a situation where you need to be as distant as possible, because I kind of feel like this person is saying whatever they can say to get you on their good side, or get on your good side. And I don't really think that they're doing it intentionally to like manipulate you in a bad way. I just feel like you are kind of being gullible about this situation. You're allowing this person to take charge in the relationship when you should really have said something, or at least recognize the damage it was doing to you in the long term. Now, I wouldn't say this is directly damaging you, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. I feel like what this is doing is just kind of numbing you out from having healthy, efficient connections. Whether this is romantic or not, you're allowing yourself to get numbed out so that when something problematic does happen, you won't be able to do anything but blink at it and move on. And that's not healthy for you. I think that being this energy of having no emotional attachment whatsoever because you're just used to it, you've allowed yourself to empty both the good and negative feelings, because you're still allowing space for a person who's making you feel good temporarily, but just not really offering anything of value. When I look at the cups cards in reverse, I see them as being emptied out. So the cups, the Four of Cups in reverse, the Four of Cups upright is a person being, offered something they don't really want because they have these three cups here. This fourth cup is just there. It's not really necessary. But when they're all reversed, they're all being emptied. So I'm just feeling like there's no real value that they're doing until they're around you. And so you're allowing this person to fill up your empty cups when you could easily have done it yourself. And I think that's something, coming back to this High Priestess, that you kind of know. And you're allowing this person to fill up these empty cups for you because you enjoy it. And because, overall you do enjoy it, but you have to ask yourself, in what way am I enjoying this? Is this really satisfying me? Like, is this sustaining me? It's kind of like the difference between, eating a snack and actually eating a whole meal. Which one is fully sustaining you? There's nothing wrong with the snack, but if you just keep filling up on the snack, it's not going to really fill you up or sustain your body with the right nutrients. And I'm not trying to say it in like an eating disorder sort of way, but I do think that there's something here in regards to that. Maybe there is even something about them telling you about your weight. Maybe that's why I picked up on like a food reference, because maybe that's something that they've been doing to you. They've been disrespectful about you and about your health, or they've been disrespectful about things that you need to figure out on your own. So the overall energy here is that you do need to figure out a lot of things on your own, and you're allowing another person to kind of speak on matters that don't really matter to them, but they matter to you. And I wouldn't say that you're being overly impressionable, water signs, but I would say that you might be a little bit gullible, and that's not to be disrespectful, but I do feel like there is some sort of vulnerability that you're allowing them that maybe you shouldn't. And your guides are trying to tell you, like, we've told you this already before, we've told you a dozen times, you're just coming up on empty. You're allowing yourself and this person to make you go numb. And it's not really helpful to you. And your guides really just need you to be careful with this person. Maybe even detach from this person a little bit more. Allow this person to be distant from you, because, if you keep this up, this is going to keep going and going and going. I don't think you can really handle this for much longer. Another thing I want to say is, if you are reading this in a romantic way, but you don't really see this person as a manipulator, of course, this doesn't have to resonate for you. If everything else resonated for you, I would say, on a more positive light, that this person is someone who is kind of fulfilling your needs, but also, like, doesn't really... I kind of feel like with this reverse, King of Swords, I feel like it's just kind of a person who doesn't quite understand their impact, and so they still need to be careful, and you still need to be careful with how much you're allowing this person to impact you. There still needs to be a boundary set. There still needs to be something there where you're not allowing this person to overstep a boundary. In fact, that's what the Four of Wands is kind of saying as well. You're happy, but you need to set boundaries as well, especially with your commitments. So with that being said, water signs, I feel like that was a bit of a shorter message for you, but I feel like it was more specific. Maybe some of you will resonate with it. If not, I will be posting the fire, air, and earth signs messages today as well. If you have any comments, questions, if you'd like to interact with this post at all, I'd be more than welcoming and happy to receive your commentary. But if you feel called to subscribe, I'd appreciate that as well. Thank you so much for viewing, and I wish you all the best.